Hey guys! So we're going to make a little mini Lego person, which is going to be ourselves in a Lego person form. So think of yourself as a Lego person. I know that a lot of us have always wanted to do this, so I thought this would be kind of fun. This project's going to be a lot different than the other Google drawings that we've done. We're going to use a lot of the shape tools on this one. So we're going to go to shapes and we're going to look for different things. So say I'm starting with the face. I would go with the rounded rectangle. And I would just fit it right in here. And then I'm just going to stretch this. To fit right in here. And of course I'm going to go to my fill. And I already made a custom Lego color because I didn't want it to be like bright yellow. So I just made it like a little bit darker. So this is going to be the color I'm going to use right here. And then of course I'm going to make another shape. I'm going to use the same one because the top of it's rounded just like this piece. Okay, so things I want to talk to you about. Let's see. All right, so things. Do you see how like this shape and this shape are sitting together, but then you can see the line in between it? So what I want to do from here on out with all of my shapes is I want to turn my borders transparent. And I'm even going to do that to this one. Because now it's one solid piece, whereas before it wasn't. So that's important to me. So we're just going to go through here and slowly add some shapes. If you need to zoom in, I completely understand. Some of these spots are teeny tiny. And make sure you're checking stuff as you go. So this looks pretty good so far as a face. Right now, just the basic stuff, we're just going to fill things in. So we're going to talk about using our polyline tool to trace certain shapes that we're not going to find inside our shape section. Now, I remember that a lot of you are probably a lot better at this than I am. But we're just going to humor me, pretend I'm awesome. There we go. All right, and here we go. So we're going to, let me see. Mrs. Comstock's shirt color today will probably be one of these blues because you guys know how much I love blue. Oh, super awesome. I think I'm liking it. All right. So another tool I want to talk to you guys about is, come here, the curve one. We haven't done this one yet. This one is just kind of like your polyline, except it's going to help you. Your line is going to curve more, and you're going to use that to create your shoulders and different. So we're just going over our shoulder area. So we're making this arm shape. See how it's kind of bending as it goes? And it's okay if it's going to do that. That's completely fine. I don't mind it. So now I have like this arm shape piece right here, okay? That is like completely, that just works, okay? So I'm going to change up the colors just so we can see it a little bit. They won't stay this color, but just for now, I wanted to show you guys. Also, another way you could do your arms is you could go through and you could create some of these different shapes, like the cylinder shape. So you could see how this cylinder comes out like this. So by making this, you can take it and you can turn it. And then you can move it and it can become, all right, it's still a little big. So we'll make it a little smaller. But it can become your arm shape too. So if you decide that you don't want to do that whole curved line piece and you want to try something a little different, this is the way you could go with it. They're kind of tricky to line up sometimes, but it's okay. So If I wanted to do it like this, I could fill it in with, okay, let's say we'll go with that purple again. And then I could add another one of these shapes over top of it. So I could go again with the cylinder shape and I could just build it. So you can always build your shapes. And remember that if you don't like the little borders, you just make them transparent and they go away. Which I recommend through the whole thing anyways, so that way your stuff looks a little bit more believable. And remember that if we want this to be overlapped with this, we're going to arrange, we're going to order, and we're going to bring it to the front. And now this front of the shirt is over top of this piece. So that means that when I make this a little bit bigger, I can tuck it behind here. Hold on here. This is, lining stuff up can be kind of tricky. But then you have like an arm shape, okay? If you're anything like me, and that's going to bother you, I'm just showing you that there's more than one way to do your arms. So you could do your arms with a curved line, or you can build it with shapes. That is completely up to you. Down here, as far as your hand goes, you can either use the polyline, because I know how much you guys all love the polyline. Remember, the more little dots you make on this, the better off you're going to be if you have to go back in and touch them up. So we can make our own circle. We can fill it with that nice little custom color that we have. And then we can insert another shape over top of it. That is like, well, here we go. We can insert, and say you have a circle. You're going to add another circle. And you could have just started with a circle to go with. I know, but I'm just showing you different ways how to do this. You are more than welcome to. Okay, and then we're going to fill this with white so it matches the background. Now, if you get rid of those borders that I keep telling you to get rid of and you make them transparent, then it's going to look like it's right in with the back. So if I'm going to start doing my face, I'm going to pick some little regular dots for my eyes. This is where you want your eyes to start being kind of like the same size. So this is a good time to do your Control C and Control V. Then we're going to use our guidelines to line our eyes up. I'm going to check over here to make sure I like where they are. Oh, they're cute. And now this curve line right here, you can use to create it to create eyebrows. I think I want to start this one right. Oh. Okay. So let's try this again. Use the curve line. All right. So because this is a really weird looking eyebrow, I'm going to go back in here and fix it. All right. I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to make my border. I'm going to select it. I'm going to put it where it belongs. Hello. Let's check it. Oh yeah, looks like a crazy eyebrow, right? Okay. So what I want to do is I want to control copy, control V. Okay, hold on. I'm going to select this image. We're going to control copy, control V. I'm making 2 eyebrows. Now this one is not going to work for us, right? Okay, because my eyebrow is not the same, I'm going to format my options. I'm going to go over to so that makes my eyebrow upside down. So we want it back right side up. What we want is it to be like a mirror image almost. So now I've got my 2 little eyebrows. I just copied and pasted them so that way they were kind of together, and then I just rotated the eyebrows so that they were a little bit different. Right now I kind of look like a boy face just because I don't have pretty little eyelashes on them like the Lego girl eyelashes. So I'm going to use the S curve again, and I'm going to create little I'm going to zoom in because I can't even see what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to zoom in. All right, so I'm going to make these eyebrows and these little eyelashes. So they're going to go up and they're coming down and they connect. And then we're going to fill them. And we have one. And I'm going to make another one. I don't want it to start there. I want it to start right next to it. Okay, so you bring your shape down, if it lets you. And then the good part is you can click on that one and you can fix it. I'm going to rotate this. Maybe a little bit more. All right, so this is what I got. What I ended up doing was I took some clip art that I had found online and I just added it to my person. So everything right here is just using your curve line tool or your polyline to create eyes and eyelashes and eyebrows and a mouth and your hair. Because mine's always up in a ponytail, I made sure to add it. And I went back in with that S curve line and I created like the shape that my hair would be. So I made some contour lines in it. So it looked like it was actually going up and it wasn't this weird brown hat sitting on top of me. And then I used my arrange tool for the background. So in order for this piece to go behind my person, I put it on and it covered my person's face, like my Lego person. And then I hit arrange. I went to order and I sent it all the way to the back. And then I went back to order and I brought it forward. So that way it would be between my person and the white paper. Then I just added some stuff. So for your project, I expect you to add at least 3 things that represent you. So everybody knows that I love to paint. And I chose a background. You need to have a background on yours. Don't just have your Lego person sitting there all boring. All right, put a background on. It could be like a landscape background. It could be a solid color background, but do something with it. Everybody knows how I like to have my teas. So I want to make it look like my tea is being held in my hand. Slowly bringing it over here. There we go. So everybody knows that I like to drink my raspberry teas. And then of course I put something in the front, in the foreground. So that way it looked like I was standing on top of something. So I have my shirt with my art club logo, because you guys know how much I love art club. I got the colors of the rainbow in the background. I have my paintbrush, I have my tea, and I have some flowers. So really, when it comes down to it, I've got like 3 or 4 things that really represent who I am and a background. And that's what I want from all of you. Take your time, make it look really nice.